Wonderful. All right, Mr. Tussey. First of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to come in your class. I was very impressed. I'm just going to be honest. To have freshmen reading 12th grade level text and trying to read Shakespeare, and for you to be trying to teach as much as you did, that's impressive.
Thank you.
So I'm really impressed about that. So first I want to say, we set a goal in professional development of making sure that students were seeing at or above grade level material. You blew it out the water.
Good.
Okay, students were doing Sonnet 18, that's a 12th grade level thing. They were doing Story of an Owl, which is actually an 11th grade text based on Excel, so that was awesome. And I also love that you teach skills and content. That also makes me happy. Like, look, I want you to identify tone, I want you to identify mood, and I want you to make sure you're doing it on a above grade level text. That's excellent rigor right there. So what made that successful?
Oh, question?
Yeah.
I think just front loading, but not too much front loading. So we didn't go through tone for 3 days. It was just that. Then I was like, okay, let's try it. So let's try some tone and mood. They didn't get as much read as I wanted to because interruptions, things like that. But, and that's just my 10th grade class and my 9th grade class. I'm talking both because we're both reading above grade level text. So we're doing the same thing. But I think it's going well because they have the front-loaded knowledge that they can read it and understand what they're looking for. Because I didn't just give it to them and say, here's this thing. So look for these things in this reading. Please do it.
I agree. That is the strength, because you basically narrowed it. Like, this is what I want you to look for in these type of readings. Let's do a practice. Let me give you different types of text to do it with. All right, so today what I want to do is I want to dive into essential content, and I want to focus on instructional activities. Okay? So first, when you're thinking about a successful lesson, right, and you want students to master one skill on that rigorous text, what's the purpose of doing that? So when I want you to look at tone, because you do the perfect job of skill with the content. Okay? What's the purpose of you doing that?
So that they will be able to have a narrow focus, they're not going to get overwhelmed, and so that they'll be able to use that skill all throughout the year when we keep coming back to theme, when we keep coming back to dialogue, when we keep coming back to the bigger things, they can use tone and mood to identify and understand.
How long have you been teaching?
This is my second year.
You sure?
Here. Yeah. I taught before, actually.
Oh, I was going to say, nah, you got some
public
skills.
school.
Okay, you got some skills there, man.
I did. I'm not going to.
Okay, so what do you want to see and hear, right, when you're dealing with this one skill and then learning how to apply it to other texts? How does the classroom look? What does it look like when they're doing that? How does it sound?
I want them to be talking about content, so I don't want it to just be silent, even though sometimes it does need to be, when they're reading. But I want them to be able to talk about content, and I want them to work collaboratively. So those are my two big goals, and that was in my syllabus as well. That one of the things you're going to be able to do when you leave this class is to work collaboratively. So I'm trying to push that.
I believe in collaboration as well, because in my mind, you never do anything by yourself. Any job field you go to in leadership, you're going to be collaborating with a leadership team. So I 100% respect. What was the objective for that lesson that I was looking at yesterday? So
the big objective was to identify and understand tone and mood. So I want them to be able to look at it, know what it is, and understand why is that thing. So in the grade level text. So that's the context, is in the grade level text. And then their later objective that it's going to feed into is to use tone and mood and irony to identify theme or to discuss theme.
Excellent. So what will students have to do for you to know that they actually have mastered that objective?
So they need to be able to justify an answer using a framework. So I'm going to do RACE. So restate the question, answer it, cite, and then explain their evidence. So I want them to be able to do that with tone and mood. So I want them to be able to say, the tone in this passage is X because Y.
Excellent. All right. I want you to look at this right here, right? This document. When you look at this is the one I sent.
Yeah.
What is the one skill that they're practicing on? What's the skill they're practicing?
To infer the mood from a textual quote.
Okay. So today, the reason why I wanted to talk about you teaching them one skill at a time as opposed to two.
Okay.
Especially because tone and mood are so similar and it's easy to confuse them.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. So I think yesterday the biggest thing is when you look at this right here, you have them trying to do tone and mood. And it was already difficult to understand it, especially when I'm a 9th grade ELL student and I'm reading the 12th grade text.
Okay, so I think moving forward, just focus on the mood first,
There we
then
go.
do tone, because the worksheet they're doing is just mood.
Exactly.
So, okay, so that makes sense. To just focus on mood, then move to tone,
There we go.
then combine.
Exactly. Now,
Okay.
and then even further, let's do one story, and all we're gonna look at is tone. We're gonna see how tone changes for different characters, or how tone changes throughout for the narrator. Then we'll do another story with mood. Then we'll do another one that's looking at ironic situations. Now go back. You could pick any one of these three. You're gonna write an essay on how does the author use theme, and you're gonna go find tone and irony in this other one, even though we only did mood there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So then that way it builds up on
So
it.
bigger chunks.
Bigger chunks, there we go, and smaller focus for the day for your activity, so that you're not,
So bigger chunks, smaller focus.
Exactly, because when I looked at your activity, essentially they went through 7 small paragraphs. It was like a sonnet, 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, they went through the sonnet, the poem, and then 2 short story selections. So that was 4.
Okay, and so it's hard to even do it for one text when you're just now learning.
Right.
And then also when you're first learning it, maybe not trying. So when you want to assess them, maybe use that above grade level text. Maybe use it at grade level text when I'm gonna teach you the skill.
Okay.
And then when I'm ready to assess you, I'm gonna step up the rigor and use an above grade level text, and then that's where I want you to do the thing.
So graduated text.
There we go. There we go. All right. So based on what we discussed today, what do you think your action steps should be?
I think having a smaller focus on a single skill or a single device in a chunk. So one story, so that's my big chunk with a small focus.
All right. Okay. So what are the key steps in order for you to close this gap between what you see with that one assignment and what you did? What's the main thing you would need to do in order to get there?
So I think just revisit that, move some things around, because I have all the parts there, I just need to split them apart.
There we go. Because it felt like you were trying to rush, get it all in. And you're like, man, I'm about to be going there. Trust them. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Well, you wrote your action step down. You know everything that we need to focus on. Mr. Touchdown, I'm going to be honest, it's a pleasure walking to a classroom. For you to be a second-year teacher, you teach like a vet already.
Well, that's good.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, seriously. So when by the time I see you at the end of this year, it's going to be masterful what you'll be doing.
I hope so.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Mr. Touchdown.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you so
That's
much.
fast. Congratulations on moving that